Another dramatic day in the World Cup. Who would have thought? Group G and Group H served us up more drama to end the group stage of the 2022 World Cup. Let's just get straight into it and start with Group G. Brazil's group. As you know, Brazil already qualified and Cameroon had to play them. And of course, Cameroon have the advantage of playing against a team already qualified, which meant they were going to play their second team. And so it proved, really. So it proved. Cameroon were able to steal a 1-0 win to give themselves a fighting chance of potentially qualifying, which they did not. And on the other hand, in the other game between Switzerland and Serbia, which was a lot more entertaining, let's be honest, the Brazil-Cameroon game wasn't too much of a entertainment factor. Was it? It was an entertainment game in the world. Martinelli had plenty of chances to score, but he didn't take them. And then later on, in added time, Vincent Abubakar headed home. And look what happens when you start the guy. And so at least Cameroon can take that win home with them. And in the other game, Serbia went 2-1 up after coming back from 1-0 down, and then ended up losing 3-2 to Switzerland, who are a very solid team. I said this before. Everyone knows what they're doing in that team. Everyone knows their role and their job. And you can tell. Shaqiri still got the sauce, and Bola's doing his thing. I think Switzerland had the potential to do decent things this tournament. Of course, they got to play against Brazil now, I believe. I think it's Brazil. Oh no, Korea play against Brazil, don't they? Yeah. But nonetheless, we'll see how Switzerland do. Obviously, I don't have the round of 16 fixtures on me now, but by the time this episode is done, I will have them. Moving on to Group H. Actually, let me finish with Group G first. It ended with Brazil on top, of course, Switzerland in second. I believe it was Cameroon stealing in for third place and Serbia last. And now, last but not least, we have Group H. Oh boy, wasn't this one dramatic? Korea stole the second qualification place from Ghana/Uruguay. Of course, we know that Portugal already qualified, and of course, Portugal then rested all their players. You know, Ronaldo and Diogo Costa, the only exceptions, I believe, off the top of my head, that I remember starting, but the rest of a lot of players, and they took the lead, Ricardo Horta. But then Korea equalized just before half-time, I believe. And then, in added time, or was it just before added time, Son Heung-min collected the ball and delivered his finest moment of a week tournament for him so far. Managing to have the composure to stop, look for Han Hee-chan, slip it right to his feet for him to slot the ball into the back of the net and to give them a vital, beautiful comeback win and book their place in the knockout stages, and they're the third Asian team to do so. Well, third team to play in the Asian side of the footballing diaspora, I believe. Because Australia are from a different continent, but they play with the Asians because of level, I think. Nonetheless, it's a performance that, the Queen should be really proud of. They stole that last place, and I thought their chance was gone after losing to Ghana. Ghana had it in their hands. And if you move on to the game against Uruguay, they had a penalty. Ironic, because the last time they played against Uruguay, they had a penalty and they missed. And guess what? Ayew missed as well. Had his penalty saved by Rocher. And Uruguay then scored twice in the blink of like 6 minutes. The Arrascaeta scored both goals. And it looked like Ghana were going home. And it looks like Uruguay were going through until, the madness that happened in the South Korea game with Han Hee-chan's late strike. And you can see the pain you can see the dugout, especially with Suarez, the pain in their eyes, the panic that this was going to end for them. Because, just like Belgium, Uruguay have come to the end of their cycle. And now they have to, rebuild a lot of key players like Godin, Suarez, Cavani, legendary players that have put their place in the history of the country. Unfortunately, probably not going to be available for the next World Cup. And we're going to have to see what happens. We all know that Darwin Núñez will spearhead the future for them. And maybe some other players that will come through. Valverde as well, how can I forget? And Bentancur. Yes, I said Bentancur. And yeah, it's tough to take because, a lot of people always look at Uruguay as a team that always have the potential to do damage. But this tournament, they just haven't looked quite themselves. Again, a team that look like they're at the end of the cycle and are about to rebuild. So it ended in Group H with Portugal at top. Second place was South Korea, stealing it. That was the first time they were in the top two all tournament. Third place was Uruguay, who were beaten to that second place on goals scored. In the game against Ghana, they were chasing that goal. The game was so crazy because Ghana had to score goals and Uruguay had to score goals. So at the end of the game, it became so stretched. And two penalty decisions that could easily went Uruguay's way didn't go the way with Nunes and Cavani. Cavani was looking for contacts and Nunes was just unlucky, I think. Amati scraped the ball. Could have been a penalty, could have not been. It turned out not to be. But nonetheless, Uruguay finished third. Then that one goal they didn't score cost them, because they didn't score in the other two games, which also cost them. And then fourth place, you have Ghana, who was second before the final round of fixtures. Now, the round of 16 is set. Starting from tomorrow, or should I say today when this episode comes out, we've got Argentina, Australia, Netherlands, USA. Not in that order. It goes Netherlands, USA first, then Argentina, Australia. Then after that, we then got England, Senegal, and France, Poland. Again, not in that order. Then we have Japan, Croatia, and Brazil, Korea Republic. Which is then lastly followed by Morocco, Spain, and Portugal, Switzerland. A lot of games that look very interesting. Nothing that's standing straight out of the page. But as the tournament goes on, we're going to get titanic battles. Right now, we can't really tell who's the favourites. You could point to Brazil, you could point to France, you could even still point to Argentina if you haven't lost faith in them fully yet. Spain as well. A lot of teams can win this. I've definitely forgotten a couple teams like England. They're in it as well to win it. Netherlands, if they improve, might have a chance. Who knows? This is the World Cup of shocks. Maybe Japan might go ahead and win. Oh, well, let's see. Alright, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. We'll be talking about Netherlands, USA, and Australia, Argentina.
Mini Laje.